building a Star Wars park in 100 hours in Theme Park Tycoon 2. Let's begin. So for this theme park, I want to build a realistic theme park. So before I can get into the actual theme park, I need to build all the roads and parking lots in front of the theme parks. So let's start by doing that. This road is made with 4 primitives, 3 for the stripe in the middle of the road and 1 for the tarmac. I also decided to add a sidewalk on one side of the road and then also adding all the little details. The next thing that I'm doing is adding a layout for the road and trying to figure out where the road will go in front of the park. After this was done, I started by adding the entrance to the park, which will eventually lead to the parking lot. So as you can see, I also decided to split this road into 2 separate sections, leading to eventually 2 separate parking lots. In the middle of the circle, I also decided to add some sort of Star Wars statue. I'm still not decided what that is yet. Eventually, I did decide to build an X-Wing starfighter in the middle of the circle for the statue. However, this is my first micro build inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2, so I don't know how well it will turn out in the end. So one of the difficulties that I had when building this X-Wing starfighter was the fact that the wings were never aligned properly whenever I mirrored it. And I had to end up building it like 3 times. And I guess, like people say, 3rd time is always the charm. The next thing that I'll be doing for this X-Wing starfighter is giving it life by adding color to it. As well as adding all the little details to it, like R2-D2 and the electrical board or technical board in the back. Now, as I was building the X-Wing starfighter, I didn't realize, looking at the concept image, that there were different colors to the X-Wing other than red, white, and gray. I found out that at the front, or on the nose of the X-Wing, there's also a little bit of yellow, and that's what I'm adding here. Now, I also realized that I'm missing a major part to this X-Wing, and that being the guns. And the next thing I should probably add before I forget is the guns to the X-Wing, which are on all 4 wings. Now that I'm finished with the X-Wing, let's go and talk about everything that I built so far, including the stuff that I built off screen. This is how the X-Wing turned out, and it turned out to be one of the most amazing works that I've done inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. And this X-Wing starfighter is based off of the original Star Wars trilogy, and I based it off of the New Hope, especially Luke Skywalker's X-Wing starfighter. And I'm quite amazed on what I was able to build in about an hour of building inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. Anyway, moving on over to here, which is the entrance, or gonna be the entrance to my park. I'm just still not decided on what I want to theme it off of yet. I'm kind of debating between the Maul Shadow Lord series city and the Coruscant city. Now over here is the stuff that I built off screen. As you can see, it's a ticket gate for one of the parking lots, and minus the gates, I still haven't built that yet, as well as I have to add the parking spots, but a lot of that will be built off screen because it's quite boring. And over here is basically the same exact thing, exactly what I showed you on the opposite side. So for the next thing that I wanted to build for this park for today's episode, I was kind of a little bit stupid, and I decided to delete all the recording footage for the next build portion because I started recording episode 2 and the files for this portion of the video that was pretty much finished were in episode 2's folder, and I accidentally deleted all the footage for episode 1 when it was basically complete. So I lost all that footage, sadly, but anyway, I did get managed to get some of the footage, and I thought I'd show you the build for this train station that I started building, or wanted to try building inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. As I started building this train station, and the whole point of this train station was because I saw it in other parks inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2, and I thought it was just a cool way to give life to park and kind of show like a transportation method to get to the theme park. And that's why I wanted to try building a train station inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. However, I do have a lot of the recordings, or some of the recordings of the train station, and I hope you enjoyed this portion of the train station of being built. So for the footage that I was able to gather, I started off by building a grassy hill around the station to kind of connect it with the theme park parking lot. So the things that were built for the stuff that was lost in the recordings was the station outline, as well as the train tracks in front of the station. I also built some covered bench areas, as you can see here on the platform. The next thing that I decided to do was to extend the parking lot for the train station, because I wanted to make it look like a separate entity from the park itself. So for this train station, I also want to make it look more like of an older train station that was turned more into like a modern station. That's why the building for the train station is an older looking style building. So in this portion of the video, I decided to extend the track out, as well as add a little bit of stuff under the track, like roads and maybe across the gate or something. However, I didn't build a lot of that in this episode. I will finish that off in a later episode, hopefully. Now, what I want to do now is stop talking and let the build speak for itself, or the footage that I was able to catch, and I'll see you in the next episode of building 100 hours Star Wars theme park inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. So I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video.
Hate it when my doubts and my fears swell up like the ocean. It feels like I could drown in my tears. Everything's overflowing. Scared that I won't get it right, get it right. My nerves are working overtime, overtime. Tell myself to calm down and breathe. Step out of the shadows into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. 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 Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the fly. Yeah, it's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be